Yeah, that one video that I did with the mobile notebook computer did not turn out very well. And I was getting a lot better results with this desktop computer that I'm using now. But it was still, some of the sound was choppy, not very clear. So I'm going to try to address that. What I did is I went ahead and downloaded the app, and seeing if that doesn't help to improve things a little bit. And I'm definitely going to download the app on my little notebook computer and see if that helps. And then we'll try it with a few other mobile devices and experiment around. I'm the kind of guy, I like to experiment with new things, and I'll read a little bit, but mostly I learn from just hands-on experience, pushing buttons and seeing weapons. You don't want to get me anywhere near a nuclear weapon silo, because that's what I'd be doing, pushing buttons and seeing what happens. Yeah, not really, but that's what I like to do, and that's what I'm doing now in this broadcast. It's just seeing how all this works. And I've got it on, I don't know what, but screen, how quality works on it, and just take it from there. So anyway, welcome everybody. Starting back out as number 6 on random, and I'll tell you a little bit about my interests, I guess. I love sci-fi. I'm a big Star Wars fan. When the original, the first, well, no, not really the first, the first Star Wars movie they made back in 1976 and 1977. I think it was actually number 4 in the series, but the movie A New Hope, Star Wars, when that thing came out, I think I saw it about 50 times in the theaters. And then as soon as DVDs became, I mean not DVDs, VHS, uh, video cassettes became popular, and it became available on that, I went ahead and bought that, and now we got the CDs, not the CDs, the DVDs. Get my terms straight here. But I now own every Star Wars movie ever, like a lot of other people out there, I suppose. And waiting for the new one to come out. What's that? Rogue One, I think. And then they've got another one with Luke Skywalker, his character making a return. And just love the whole genre of sci-fi. Pretty much like action-adventure movies, sci-fi. Big fan of Stargate, SG-1, that series. And of course Star Wars and Star Trek, and almost anything that begins with the word star except for Star Search. I haven't really into that, but not sci-fi enough. If they had a sci-fi act on it, I might tune in. Another show I'd like to see would be something like, I don't know, Dancing with the Sci-Fi characters. Dancing with the Stars. You have characters who are there dancing with their favorite Star Wars characters or other sci-fi characters. Imagine Crystal Perrin dancing with Chewbacca. That would be pretty fun to watch. And I'd probably tune in to see that. But, yeah, sci-fi, basically anything sci-fi, especially. And Babylon 5, that. I'm getting some emails here. And, of course, we've showed off the cats. I had another cat that came into the house briefly, but he's another one of our wild cats. Hasn't really tamed down that much yet. And he just came in for a little bit of food and then left. That's pretty much the way they are around me anyway, the wild cats. They come in for food and pet them a little bit while they're eating, but for the most part they just want to be left alone. They come in, eat, go outside. Not really very friendly. Now my 2 black cats, they're just babies, big lovers. They just love to cuddle, and what can I say? They've just really adopted me. I'm going to see about... There we go. Charging one of my mobile devices here. I may try using that later on today. And it looks like, yeah, the video quality is good. Going to see what we can do to perhaps improve the audio quality. And let's see, what do we have here? I know. Dig out one of my cats again. And while we're at it, oh, here you go. You've heard the old expression, getting along like cats and dogs? Well, our cats and dogs get along pretty good. Matter of fact, the wildcats, they don't like me, but they love our dogs. So this is our little male, and I got my little female Shih Tzu here. Yeah, you need a bath. A bath, haircut. We're going to work with you later on, okay? Yeah, don't get her too worried. Oh, but they don't like being picked up together too much. But, you know, when they're left to themselves, I'll find them cuddled up together on the couch or in the chair. It's really weird with, 6 cats and 2 dogs. A lot of times it's hard to find a place to sit down because these guys, they don't think they should be on the floor. They think they should be up on the chairs, up on the couch. And until I broke them of the habit, the cats here used to love to jump up on the table and just help themselves to food. When we first got our black female cat, Mrs. Meow, this is not her, this is him. But we had a big block of cheese that we had bought at our local Amish grocery, and just old-fashioned big block of cheddar cheese. And I had it out on the table, and wife and I were cutting it and having it with crackers and snacking on it. And I didn't think anything of it until I happened to turn around and one of our black cats, yes, Mrs. Meow, was right up there on the table helping herself. She was nibbling on the corner of the block. It's okay, I'm not telling stories on you. Okay, you want down? So that's how I first learned that these guys just love to help themselves to any kind of food. And if I leave the refrigerator door open a little bit too long, they will try to climb into the refrigerator. So I got to be careful on that. Last thing I want to do is to get a cat trapped in the refrigerator. Boy, that would make a heck of a noise, wouldn't it? So, anyway, that's the story on the cats. And looks like, yeah, we're going up here a little bit. I need to find my groove on this thing, I know that. Kind of get into a few topics. Need to do a little bit of house cleaning here and paperwork. And then once I'm done with that, I'll probably see when my wife wakes up. She works late. She's a tarot advisor on Keen.com. And she works late. She'll stay up till about 3, 4 in the morning just working with her clients. She's been doing this, being a spiritual advisor / tarot reader for, what, about 3 years now, 3 solid years. And she started out doing it part-time a few years before that, but for the last 3 years she's been doing it full-time. And she puts in a lot of hours each week just working with her clients. And so she'll stay up till, pretty late. Usually, I'll see, she'll be up till about 5 in the morning. And then she goes to sleep and she sleeps in till noon or 1. And it's getting close to that time now, 11 o'clock now. So I put on a big cup of coffee and we chit-chat. And I'm thinking later when she gets up, we're going to try to see if she's in the mood to sit down and make a video with me here too. But it's what we have planned for later on. Probably not later on today, maybe this evening, is break out a pack of tarot cards and just do our thing. And if she's not interested in doing it here online, then I will probably do it here myself online on YouNow. So it's kind of a fun art if you don't know anything about tarot. It's basically, here, I'll show you. Make sure I'm playing with a full deck here. Here we are. The tarot cards are is like a huge, big deck of what could be mistaken as playing cards. And actually, you can play card games with them. But a bunch of cards that, let's see, we can't really, I'm getting a glare here. That's the Ace of Pentacles. But the cards have different pictures on them. And they have different meanings that you can learn. If you want to, you can buy an instruction book that these cards have. And or you can just look at the pictures and try to make up your own interpretation, make up your own stories. And that's what some tarot readers do, some of the good ones, is that they'll look at the pictures and instead of just giving you like the story of your life or whether or not you're ever going to find love or happiness or anything like that, they'll sit down and look at the cards and they will tell a story based on the pattern that the spread has, that the cards have in the spread. And these stories will be more or less like, I don't know, parables or guidance, stories meant to guide the seeker to find their answers that they've been searching for in life. And sometimes these stories hit the mark, and other times a good connection cannot be found and the stories don't really hit the mark at all. But basically, that's what we work with here. I work with the Rider-Waite deck created by Edward Waite and painted by Pamela Coleman Smith. And that's the first tarot deck I ever owned. I got into it in the 70s. It's really kind of funny because I first learned about the tarot watching the James Bond movie Live and Let Die. And if you've ever seen that movie, they've got a lot of tarot influence, a lot of New Orleans, voodoo, esoteric tarot kind of stuff going on in that whole film. And Jane Seymour plays the role of Miss Solitaire. And she's a tarot reader that works for the guy. What's his name? Kanunga? Something like that. And anyway, I watched that movie. At first, I didn't much care for it, but it was James Bond, so I watched it a few times. And then I got developed an interest in tarot, so I went out and bought my first deck and bought a little instruction book. And around 1977, 78, something like that, messing around doing tarot readings for my friends, and just kept right on doing it ever since. The years, and it's a fun way. I mean, I use personal reflection, and I do believe that a person can connect to their higher power or God as they understand God through the tarot cards and actually receive messages, personal messages on what your energy of the day is going to be, any advice that you may be seeking. And the tarot cards can be used either as a game for like purely recreational entertainment, or they can be used as a window into the supernatural, window into the divine. And yeah, you can ask questions and receive answers using the tarot deck. And that's a little bit about what we do around here, and just a bunch of nice big old cards, pictures on them. And later on tonight, when I get more properly set up here in this space. You can't see it now. This table is hopelessly cluttered. But and folks of the tarot, and give you the address where you can find me online too if you want to. But that's all for later. Right now, I understand that we have a cat that is asking to go back outside. This is a big part of my day in my spare time. There you go, buddy. Go on outside. Yep, thank you. Is babysitting the cats, because they love to go out, they love to come in, they love to eat, they love to go out and do the other thing. But they're all pretty well behaved, and I haven't had any problems with them, per se. And they're great company to have around. And so far, I've got 2 of them tamed. The other 4 are a work in progress. My wife has them tamed, so we kind of do a tag team on the Wildcats here. I get a few and successfully work with them, and she takes care of the others. But they all like to come up here and eat when I'm awake. Matter of fact, they've got me trained. Cats will train the owner, not the other way around. See, the cats, they think that they are the owners. They own you, not you own them. And so they've got me pretty well trained where I get up at first light in the morning and open the door and put out the food. I found out that's what they were crying about earlier when I was making one of my previous videos. I had neglected to fill up their food dish, and they had pretty much emptied that food dish out already. So put another big bowl of cat food out, and that's going to keep them happy for a while. And I just noticed something gross here. I've got a fly in my coffee. What is he doing in my coffee? It looks like the breaststroke. No, actually it's a dog paddle. That's what I get trying to drink a lukewarm cup of coffee. Okay, we're going to get you out of there. Needless to say, this is 1 cup of coffee I won't be drinking today. You little bugger. Oh, yeah. Time to switch to water anyway. I think I've had enough coffee for one day. Now, I did download the app here for you now to my desktop computer, and I understand it will allow me to do all kinds of fancy things. Right now, my main concern is to see whether or not it improves our audio and video quality. Can't talk while I'm drinking water. That'd be a neat trick to pick up, though. But I'll play this video back, and we'll see how everything goes. And then take it from there, but still going to spend, well, maybe another hour or 2 just kind of experimenting with the adjustments here and seeing what works. I'd like to thank everybody for the thumbs up here. It's got 185 on this video, and everything's looking pretty good. Okay. And again, apologies, because I think earlier in one of my first videos, somebody was trying to open up chat with me, and I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to that chat bar. But now I am going to be paying more attention to that. So if I accidentally ignored somebody, 2 or 3 people earlier, apologies. It was not intentional. Just a newcomer experimenting and not really knowing how to use all the yet. It looks good. What else can we do? Play, sing. Yeah. My wife does a lot of crochet. Now, this bit that hobbies that we have. She does crochet for Barbie dolls, and she will go out and she will buy all kinds of Barbie dolls at local flea markets. And, you know, you can pick them up really cheap. Just some old naked Barbie dolls that are very much in need of clothes, cleaning, washing up, getting their hair shampooed. They'll look terrible when she first buys them. And then her hope is that she'll clean them up, and then she'll take a good look at them and figure out, okay, what kind of a character do I want to create this Barbie doll? And then she'll crochet an outfit for that Barbie doll. One of a kind, original crochet outfit. And she puts in, I don't know how many hundreds of hours in just doing this art. And she's come up with a lot of neat Barbie dolls. Matter of fact, I think I can sneak into the bedroom and get her. Okay, here we go. Now this is a neat one she's created. Sneak into her bedroom. Yeah, I don't know what she calls this one, but this is kind of like looks like a summer dress that she's crocheted. This is all hand crochet stuff that she's done, and she's crocheted. Yeah, there you go. Crocheted this little hat. I'm probably not showing up too well. Now you don't tell Heidi that I was showing you off, okay? Although I don't think she'd mind. But yeah, she'll make outfit. This one kind of like this one, but others she'll according to certain characters, either science fiction characters or mythological characters. There's a one I'll show you now. Talking about mythological characters. So I'd say this is probably right here 1960s summer Barbie creation here she made. This guy here, I don't know what this doll was originally, but you know, we found him in the flea market too. And she started doing kind of like an African type of feel with his outfit. And this guy is called Papa Legba, based on the hoodoo voodoo mythology. Papa Legba being a spiritual being that is called upon in certain ceremonial purposes to open the door to prosperity, open the door to the world of spirit, to facilitate communication between the material world and the spiritual world. And she kind of likes Papa Legba. I think, as I indicated earlier, we are interested in pretty much all aspects of the esoteric and spirituality. And we both started out studying Christian spirituality, then got into Christian mysticism, and then got into Buddhism, and just after that just started branching out into any kind of spiritual system that we could, just learning about it. And that's how we learned about the mythology here of Papa Legba. And yeah, she's made his outfit. His colors are red and black, and he's got a little bit of bling bling here. Not too sure what that is. Oh yes, it's a little anchor and a cross, so have to ask her what all that means. She's more up on that stuff than I am. But this is what she does in her spare time, and she'll put in hours just making the crochet, a crocheted headband, little crochet hat on the Barbie, pants, and she even crochets some shoes. Now I don't have an example of that to show off, But that's pretty time consuming, and really we don't think that the crocheted shoes look the same as the plastic shoes. They look more like slippers. So if you want slippers on your Barbie doll or Ken doll or whatever, you can make that with crochet, and she does a real good job with it. But here we have some plastic shoes that we bought online, and I went ahead and painted them, one black and one red, to kind of match the general theme of the outfit. But that's one of her hobbies. I'm also into crochet, but I don't do anything on this level. I don't work with the fine threads. This is a real fine thread that she uses to make the Barbie doll skirts and clothing. I use the thick thread, the kind that you use to make like scarves for people, not scarves for Barbie. And I don't do anything as ornate as this. I make pretty much just basic stuff like pot holders, scarves, and it's pretty time consuming, but it's a good way to just kind of relax, mellow out, and if you want to just veg out and meditate, you can do that while doing your crochet and just kind of relax. It's an interesting art form. So we're going to put away Legba. Put him back by the door. There you are. Whoops. Don't fall down. And put 1960s Barbie back in the bedroom. And I found another kitty cat. This was the girl I was telling stories on earlier, and she's pretty settled down right now. You want to show everybody your face? There you are. This is the girl that jump up on the table and help herself to food. She's the one that also jumped up on when I was working at the computer a few years ago and helped herself to my cup of coffee. That didn't happen today. Today it was a fly that helped himself to my cup of coffee. But slowly over time, I've kind of broken her of that habit. She knows she's not supposed to do it. But still, some days, what's a hungry girl to do except jump up on and help herself? And they're kind of spoiled in a way because they'll eat anything that we eat, and for the most part, they'll do their share of begging. But they're also, being cats, they're a little more picky than what dogs are. And if they decide they don't want what I'm eating, they'll just turn up their nose and walk away, and one of the dogs will get the treat instead. But for the most part, these guys, the cats, will do a good job of eating their cat food, and then they'll do some minor begging for cheese, major begging for milk. Now that's the thing, early in the morning when I'm up getting my coffee. These cats have learned that every time that refrigerator door opens, it's time to run out there and start begging for milk. So that's their big thing. And she's pretty comfortable right now. You don't mind being shown off now, do you? One thing I've noticed with our animals is that they tend to get nervous when I try to put a camera in front of them. Even just an unobtrusive camera like the camera I'm using now, my webcam. It freaks them out. I don't know why. I mean, maybe they figured out what it is. I don't know. You can see yourself, right? You know who that cat is? That may be part of the problem there, is that they can look at the screen and see me, and to them it seems pretty weird, and they see themselves and kind of wonder, how's that possible? But this one is pretty much settled down to it. Yeah, you're not camera shy today, are you? Okay, you want to get down. She's getting hot. I'm getting hot too. There you go. Need to turn down the heat. It was pretty cold when I woke up this morning, but I think outside temperature and getting to warm up, and the inside temperature is certainly warming up. So, time to do something about that. What else do we have going on here? Mention the crochet, tarot reading, sci-fi interest, dogs and cats, big part of our day. Don't really get into video games. No, I don't. I don't play a lot of video games. Not really one of my hang-ups, not yet. I don't know how exciting this is going to be for this format, but very, very much into the practice of meditation. And been doing that for 10 years now. And I learned studying the writings of Thich Nhat Hanh. And then when I stumbled across one of my favorite teachers, Ajahn Brahm, on YouTube, learned a lot from his outfit. He does meditation retreats that he films and makes available for people who live outside of Australia. And just has hours and hours and hours of teaching. And I've spent a great deal of time learning the art of meditation through his teaching. And my wife and I both really got into that, find it very relaxing, and learn different forms of meditation. Usually on YouTube videos, probably YouNow videos. It's not a really hot topic, but it's one that we're into. And we might do a few presentations on that. Trying to think of anything else we can throw out here. Heidi loves baking, and Heidi, that's my wife, she likes to make tortilla. She comes from Honduras in Central America. And she introduced me to homemade tortilla, which is wonderful. It beats the heck out of store-bought tortilla. And the art of roasting and grinding your own coffee. See, up here, I live in the United States. Up here, you know, the big thing is you go out in your garden and you pick tomatoes, and in the summertime have in Honduras, the big thing was to have your own coffee bush or a community grove of coffee bushes, and go out there and pick your coffee beans and then roast them over a fire and add in your black sugar, molasses, whatever the heck else they use, and just make fresh roasted coffee, and then you grind it up using stone mortar. I don't exactly know what they use. I'm going to have to ask her. We have a regular coffee grinder that we use to grind our beans. But she comes from a part of the world where making your own coffee is just the thing that people do, because even poor folks can feed trees, or bushes, and pick their own beans and make their own coffee. And God, down there, they up here, we feed babies milk and formula. Down there, it's coffee. Everybody drinks coffee. You jump out of the womb and get your first cup of coffee there. So coffee isn't, you don't go to Starbucks for coffee down in Honduras. You go to your own creations. It's awfully creative, with her coffees. And for the most part, I've learned all my coffee making skill from her. And nowadays she lets me make the coffee. She's trained me enough where she doesn't have to do that anymore. Cat's got me trained. The wife's got me trained. I think maybe I'm being a pushover. I wonder. But anyhow, very well trainable here. On that, coffee grinding, coffee making, guitar work. I'm still working on getting my fingers back in shape. I worked at a chicken plant for, God, about 10 years, and a lot of repetitive motion in just deboning chickens. And God, it's cold, nasty work, and I found out it really does a number on your fingers. And for about 3 years, I didn't play guitar at all. I was just working at the chicken plant, not having much time to do much of anything else. And then one day I tried to pick up my guitar to play again and found out my fingers were so messed up. It was very hard for me to go back to playing guitar. But since I've quit that job and gone into other areas of expertise, I'm finding that my fingers are slowly getting back into shape and able to play a little bit better. And let's just bring that guitar out. Won't try to do anything of quality yet. Just do a little bit of practice. This is an old guitar I've had around the house, around my life for about 40 years. Been a good friend. I've neglected it, of course, but it's a little bit out of tune. But we're slowly getting back into shape. There's the one. Okay, and where's the song I was working on yesterday? Just of not playing, I like to start with simple songs. And this is one I kind of like, written by Donovan back in 1966, called The Hurdy-Gurdy Man. And see if I can work this up today. Thrown like a star in my vast sleep, I opened my eyes to take a peek, to find that I was by the sea, gazing tranquility. And that's when the hurdy-gurdy man came singing songs of love. That's when the hurdy-gurdy man came singing songs of love. History of ages, lights and shadows cast down through all eternity, the crying of humanity. And that's when the hurdy-gurdy man comes singing songs of love. That's when the hurdy-gurdy man came singing songs of love. Hurdy-gurdy, 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 he sang. Hurdy-gurdy, gurdy, hurdy-gurdy, he sang. Hurdy-gurdy, 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 he sang. Thrown like a star in my vast sleep, I opened my eyes to take a peek, to find that I was by the sea, gazing with tranquility. And that's when the hurdy-gurdy hurdy-gurdy man came singing songs of love. That's when the hurdy man came singing songs of love. Hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy man. Hurdy-gurdy, 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 gurdy man. Hurdy-gurdy, 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 gurdy man. Still need to work it up a little bit. My fingers are starting to kill me again. Let's set that aside. Oh, not too sure how the sound quality came out, but that's one of the things that I like to do too. Time anymore is relearning music. And Don, because he's kind of a mystical poet, and you could tell words are pretty easy to remember. I got it written down here just so I can keep the word chord patterns in sync. And just learning different styles too of playing and strumming. But let's see, my gosh, in 41 minutes already. What I like about Donovan is that he is a mystical poet, and his songs have different levels of meaning. Like if you're familiar with Don McLean, the guy that wrote the song American Pie, that song is just loaded with all kinds of esoteric, hidden meanings. Donovan is the same way. I mean, here, you don't know what the heck he's talking about. A hurdy-gurdy man singing songs of love, thrown like a star in my vast sleep. He's talking about various states of consciousness. And the hurdy-gurdy man, I found out, is a reference to the meditation instructor, and I'm going to murder his name, but Yogesh Mashi Yogesh, I think was his name. Meditation to the Ben got in on that gig too, and he's the hurdy-gurdy man singing songs of love. And the one of the deeper meanings here to this song is that it's a reference to this yoga teacher, this meditation teacher, taking people in the thick of life and teaching them how to get out of your rat race life for maybe a few minutes or an hour or two each day, and learning how to calm down, relax, and practice meditation. And so the deeper meaning of the hurdy-gurdy man. Hurdy-gurdy man is in Old English is a guy that we call him an organ grinder when I was growing up, but a guy that plays an instrument that you play by turning a crank and playing some buttons. And the hurdy-gurdy man here is a guy that brings peace, and that's a reference. And it's fun, not just these songs by Donovan, but also going through the meanings and trying to figure out, okay, what the heck is he talking about? And a lot of his music, it's very calm, very soothing, very nice, very relaxing stuff to listen to and sing. But you also have to keep in mind there are other meanings to these words, and it's kind of fun to take some time to go through them and figure them out. So that's another hobby that I have. And yes, that's about all. I think I'm about chatted out here. Still kind of recovering from a cold, so my voice is starting to give out on me, so I think I'm going to wrap this up and end this. But again, thank you. Thank you for all the likes, and thank you all for tuning in. One viewer in the audience. Well, thank you, whoever you are, and we'll talk to you later. So this is Frater Ralph signing out and wishing you a blessed day of discovery wherever you are. Bye-bye.